Hello everybody, this is Bill Batson from Batson Enterprises. We're starting our new series of walking through the Batson collection. First of all, I want to honor my father because all of this wouldn't be possible without him. He started building rods over 40 years ago in the living room of our home, and I have some of the rods that he built also, which are very dear to my heart, obviously for many reasons. You know, it's the way I was raised, this is our livelihood, this is what my father taught us, and this is what we do for the industry. So I'm going to start by honoring my father, obviously, and show you a few of my father's rods, and then we're going to walk through the facility, see a couple other rods, and then we'll end up in my office where I'll grab all the dock ski rods that I have, who we are doing a focus on him today. So I'll take all those rods, then we'll take it into the photo room, and then we'll break down each rod by rod, what that rod means to our family, and what the kind of work Doc put into those rods. So first of all, I want to show you a couple of the rods from my father. Some of the first rods that he built for friends and family, like most people start off with. This rod he built for his brother, which is Carrie's father. This is an old saber blank. It's a big spinning rod. I mean, it has a lot of sentimental value. So every rod is numbered. This is rod number 535. All the rods are numbered, documented. There's over 650 custom rods in the collection. But anyways, this is obviously one of my favorites that my father built back in the 80s. All the way, some other rods that my father built, all the way to the last rod that he built in 2001. So he built this for a friend of his in 2001, and after my father passed away 17 years ago, the gentleman was nice enough to give it back to me for our family and our collection. So anyways, that's where I want to start, in memory of my father. And now we're going to walk through the facility, show you a couple other rods that we have throughout the facility. Another dock ski rod that I'm not going to pull out of the case, but he was part of the Legends rod. And we'll end up in my office. All right, here we go. And throughout the facility, you'll see racks of rods. So this is another rack of rods. Putter. This is one of the first marble jobs ever done. I mean, this is an amazing rod. He did it at a couple different shows. So this is a marble rod. I will highlight a lot of these rods later. But like I said, you'll see racks of rods throughout the facility. Another rod here. You'll see other rods throughout the facility. This is a Mark Cross, which I will highlight him as a rod builder later. But I did want to show this one for a couple of reasons. This is the Legends rod, built by some of the legends in the industry. Doc Ski is on here, along with Don Morton, Ray Jorgensen, Tom Greek, and Dick French. The reason I bring that up today is because Dick French passed away a week ago. He was a friend of our family for a long time. Touches my heart, you know, that I have a piece from Dick. And all the legends of the rod building are here. I mean, there's a bunch of guys on here from Dick French, Doc Ski, you know, a lot of different guys. So, E.B.D. Elder, who's also been up here before, and I also have a rod from him also. So anyways, as you see, that we have rods throughout the facility. So we're going to go into the office now, and we're going to pull our Doc Skis together and break them down one by one. So this right here is Doc Ski's life work. As you can see, these are all weaves. There's some cross wraps. There's some diamond wraps. It's a lot of different things. Doc Ski gave this to me because he knows that I'm going to share this with generations to come. Right now I'm having some new boxes made, some travel boxes and some show boxes for this collection. This is the finest collection. I mean, no words can put into it. There's so much going on here, and maybe some other time we'll do just a whole series on just what he's done here. But you can see the collection. So this is all more part of a Doc Ski collection. And as we go into my office, you'll see there's a large collection of a lot of different things. I have my real collection, everything from a 16-aught pen down to a, I don't know, 3-aught. I've got the 16, the 14, the 12, the 10, all in concession, along with a lot of my other reels. I have the 130s, I have the 80s, the 50s, the 30s, the 16s, the 12s, you name it. In this office, like I said, there's over 500 rods in this office, and we are going to focus on one builder today because to try to do everything is going to be way too much. So we're going to focus on Doc Ski's builds today. What I do is I like to keep each builder in their own little section. So I have Doc Ski's section here, and I'm going to pull off these rods and we're going to break them down one by one in our studio. And that's 10 of them. And he has also done other things in my collection for different charities, but we're going to do these 10 today. So I'm going to just make sure I have a good handle on these and I don't hurt anything. All right, we're going to go out here and into the photo room. Excellent. So I have all 10 rods racked. Give me a second. I'll be right back. All right, we're going to start talking some technical stuff. A lot of people will not understand what I'm saying, but those who do will understand what I'm saying. Doc is one of the most amazing weavers in the industry. He uses all A thread on all of his weaves. He told me how many counts there are to each weave. So I will share that information. I'll also share the information, the more personal information in regards to what the rod is for the family or where I got it or why it's in the collection. So we're going to start with one of my favorites. This is the latest and greatest one that Doc has done for me and my family. It's in memory of our family. In Hawaiian, it's called Ohana. So I'm going to pull out the Ohana rod. As you'll notice, most of the rods that I have are saltwater tuna blanks because of the diameter and the different things he can do on a larger blank, and they're fishing blanks. They're fishing rods. They have all Batson parts on it, from an ALPS reel seat to ALPS guides to the RainShadow blank. But we're not here to talk about the parts. We're here to talk about the craftsmanship. All right, so today, I want to make sure I get this right. This weave right here, as you can see, it is the Maui hook. And inside the Maui hook, there's an olua, right? So that is a weave. And it's very, very delicate. And it says Batson Ohana, which means Batson family. So this is a design that we did on a shirt a couple years back. Doc saw it. He said this is going to be a great design for something. So that weave is 150 threads by 153 and 3 layers. That's a lot. The weave is 150 threads by 153 3-layer. Just the weave. Just that weave right there is what I just said. And for people who know about weaving, then you'll understand. Okay? The tiger is a 3-thread Throop, Scott Throop, who designed it. We give him credit. Tiger wrap with 2 sacrificial and a few Jim Treleckis thrown in. You know, and you can know what a Jim Trelecki is. You know, he does the razor blades. He has all the little decoration with his threads. So we want to give honor to the people that come up with these things. So this is the first rod, right? And when he did this rod, you know, he did the weave, this beautiful weave. He did this awesome looking tiger, but at the same time, he wanted to do something a little different on this rod. So what he did, he's got pictures of all of my family, right? So we're going to go through and I'm going to show you all of the pictures. And these are just photos that he laid down. It's a technique. I know Bill Havens does it. Jim Treleckis does it. Some other people do it, where you can take a picture of your fish or whatever, a family member or anything. You put on a water slide and put it in, you put a finish coat over it. So we're going to show you all of the people on this rod. First of all, there's my dad. There's a picture of my dad on the first guide. That's where it started. A picture of my mother right next to my father. And then as we go down the rod, you'll see a picture of my son Keller. Picture of my wife Shelly. Shelly should have been first, but that's okay. And then from there, it'll go down to more pictures. This is my daughter Leanna, my firstborn daughter, and Eden, my lastborn daughter. And as we go down the rod, there's more pictures. There's a picture of my sister, Sarah Batson, my other sister, Tammy Batson, which some of you have met. And then as we go down, there's my Uncle Jim and my cousin Carrie. We would not be the company we are without Carrie. That's for darn sure. And as we move down, we have a picture of my brother Jeremiah and a picture of Uncle Mickey. So there are the Batsons that made it on the rod. There's a lot of other Batsons. There's a lot of people that have helped us get to where we are today. But this is what we call the Ohana rod. It's a beautiful rod. So that's rod number 1 that I'm going to show you today. There's quite a bit more. I wanted to be more detailed on this one than any one of them because this honors a lot of different people that have been part of this great journey for us as a Batson family. So rod number 1, the Ohana rod. All right, for the second rod we're going to discuss today, it's called the CCA rod. So as a lot of you know, I am a life member of CCA. I believe in what they do for our industry, the recreational fishermen. I'm part of some banquets. I do a lot of volunteer work, not a lot. I do volunteer work for CCA in regards to helping them raise money. So I asked Doc to help me with this project, and I ended up buying it because it was such an awesome rod. So this rod is what we call the CCA rod. If you come up close, you can see Doc did a CCA weave. It is an 86 thread by 86 thread with 2 layers. That's the CCA. The Tiger is a red and silver Electra with 1 sacrificial. So this is your Tigers. As you can see, it goes underneath the guide, goes down all the way, and follows this. This rod has scales on it, so that means it's actually fished before, which is awesome. This rod was built in 2010. And this is my CCA rod. As you can see, he used Electra thread throughout the under wraps. And this is another saltwater series blank. I actually believe I fished this rod for halibut. I see scales on it. I like to fish the rods, and it has an ALPS window seat, which is a discontinued seat, but it's still pretty cool. And this number on this rod is 196. The number doesn't mean anything. It's just part of our how we book things. So rod number 2, the CCA rod. Rod number 3, we call it the Eagle Flag rod. As you well know, we are big supporters of our armed forces, and Doc Ski's always wanting to help in regards to that. As you know, Doc Ski is also a big supporter of our armed forces. This particular rod was built for a charity, which I ended up buying the rod at the charity because I wanted it for my collection. So this rod is the Eagle morphed into a flag. If you come in close, excuse me, you can see, and that's a weave. So the eagle is morphed into the flag. So his wings are the flag with the stars and everything. This is an amazing. So this one, the weave is 144 threads by 144 threads with 4 layers. And the design, it was designed by Steve McLeod in England. He's also a very talented builder. But he designed this for this rod. The Tiger wrap is a 3-thread red, blue, and silver electric with a top layer of 2 sacrificial threads. So you can see it, and it looks like he has some glitter in the finish coat also. And I call this my eagle flag. Obviously patriotic, red, white, and blue, honoring, you know, all of our veterans, anybody in the armed forces. And that's why this rod was built. Like I said, it was built for a charity that I ended up buying it, just because, obviously, for obvious reasons. It's a great rod. And this rod will fish one day also. All right, that rod number 2. This rod has some meaning for me. Doc built this one for my collection. It's a 2-piece surf rod, and I had him put the Luhua on the you know, a weave in there. This is a rod that I will be using at some point hopefully in the near future, to go to fish Christmas Island. I'm going to take my surf rods. I'm going to go fish where my dad used to fish back in the 80s. And this rod right here is my Luhua rod. So this weave is 100 threads by 207 threads with a 3-layer. And I stress the threads on purpose to try to make it look underwater, he says. So if you look, looks like the fish is underwater, and that's why he used so many different threads and different colors, I believe. But you can see the Luhua chasing the plug, and that's what I want to use this rod for when I go to Christmas Island or someplace where I can go catch a nice GT in memory of my father. And like I said, you'll notice everything has the ALPS guides, everything has the ALPS reel seats, everything is all Batson on these rods. This tiger right here is 2 threads with 1 sacrificial. So just a tiger. I mean, Doc is amazing tigers. So, and the tiger comes from Scott Throop. So I just want to let everybody know that. We give him credit for that. You know, and Jim Trelecki gets credit for a lot of other things in our collection. But this is the Luhua rod. All right. Moving on. All right. The next rod we're going to be highlighting is the Angry Tuna Rod. This one's been around for a while. This is one of my favorites. I like the Angry Tuna. And this particular rod, as you can see, if you get up close here, has a weave of an angry tuna. The weave is 80 threads by 101 threads and is 5 layers. The patriotic tiger between the striper guide and the next guide up. So you can see we have a little patriotic tiger. He's got it going on here. And like all Doc's work, it's just impeccable. Finish coats are flat. Everything is lined up. And this I call the Angry Tuna Rod. All right, moving on. Next rod we're going to show is the Seahawks Rod. This is an amazing rod. I mean, they're all amazing. Obviously, Seahawks, because we're from Seattle, and this was built for a charity that I ended up buying it. But you can see there's some amazing stuff here. The Seahawks Rod. All right. The weave's done simultaneously. So as you can see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weaves. And they're all done simultaneously. Wow. Seahawks Works Weaver. 40 threads by 376 threads, 1 layer. 2 opposing logos each, 21 threads by 51 threads with 3 layers. Also some Jim Trelecki's, olive branches in there, and a lot going on this rod. And the color is just brilliant. And this rod will definitely get to fish one day, along with a lot of my other rods in my collection. So, Jim Trelecki's JTOBs in there, the olive branches, this is probably before he started doing the saw blades, but I mean, just the colors on this is so bright, and I love the green and the blues and just the whole combination that he did with this rod. This is definitely an eye catcher in the collection, especially if you're from Seattle and the Seahawks and all the work he put into this. Like I said, 5 weaves all at the same time. I mean, I can't even wrap my mind around that. But these guys they think different. Doc Ski and Mark Krause and those guys like that, Jim Trelecki, they think different. They see in 3-dimensional probably. Anyways, that's the next one. The next one is a rod that I had him do. It's a trolling rod. I can take this butt off. I can put a bent butt on it, or I can have it a straight butt. But this is a trolling rod that he did for our collection. He did this one up for the Batson family. This one has several weaves between the feet and the guides and our name and everything. So I'm going to show you here, it has the ALPS logo on the first weave, a B, a T, an S, an O, and an N. And those are weaves right up underneath the guide feet. And this rod has been fished. You can tell by the feet are cracked on some of these guides, but those are weaves. So it says ALPS on the first one, and it says Batson runs up the other side. And on the other side, it runs back this way. And it's probably upside down. It's probably upside down, but you can see it. B-A-T-S-O-N for Batson. This is a Batson family rod, along with the ALPS logo. And he's got a tiger in there. And we've got roller guides on this rod. This is my 50-pound class rod. I'll put a 50 wide on this thing. I'll troll for marlin or whatever. Probably not marlin, but maybe Ono or something like that. And so this is another rod in the collection. And this is the Batson weave rod. So it actually says Batson down one way, Batson down the other. So this is another rod that Doc had done for our collection. Just amazing. All the time and energy he's put into building these rods for our family. The next one I want to show you is the Jumping Ono, which is a Wahoo. This is an older rod that I've had in the collection for a long time, but I know this is definitely a Doc ski. Has the tiger. It has the Jumping Ono. I think I bought this at a auction. This is one of the older Doc skis that I have. You can see everything's flat. Finish coats are flat. Guides are straight. Everything's even. Everything's measured. You know, all the way from the trim band to as you move down the rod, the trim bands get smaller, to the inlays between underneath the guide feet. Just the detail in this rod is amazing. And the Jumping Ono. So another rod in the collection. I hope you're enjoying seeing these, because we're going to continue this series and be showing a lot of different builders. There's one left, and it's not, there's two left. Hold on, sorry about that. We're going to go with this rod next. I know this is a pretty cool rod because of the dog. Service dogs, I know Doc does a lot with the service dogs. I mean, armed forces. You don't have to be a human to be in the armed forces, right? So he does a lot with the service dogs. And this one represents in regards to the service dogs. So he did this weave with the service dog, and it's an amazing weave. I mean, the detail in it, from the teeth to the eyes to the hat, I mean, to the collar. I mean, it's just amazing. And you can see the tigers that he did, the red, white, and blue theme throughout the rod. Obviously patriotic. Doc is very patriotic, as well as I am. You know, we all know freedom's not free, and people sacrifice every day for us to live the way that we do. So this is my service dog rod, the dog rod. All right, there's another rod in the collection. This one probably won't be fished because it's so awesome. I think we've covered about everything except for one. You know, this is a little different. Doc T wanted to make a surprise for me a couple years back, and quite a few years back, and wanted to put my face on a rod. So he did this weave here. Definitely, I never thought I would have my face weaved onto a fishing rod, but I was very honored for him to build this for the Batson collection. And you can always see the patriotic themes, the red, white, and blue throughout the rod. And like I said, everything has the best reel seats, the best guides in the industry, in my opinion, along with the RainShadow Blanks. And they're all built to fish. These are fishing tools. So you can see the weave. Also, you can see Doc Ski's signature there. His signature sticker on there. So This is another rod. And this is a 6.6 heavy, you know, a 50-pound stick, built for a lot of different applications. So there is my first introduction to the Batson collection. We will continue to do this and show more. There's a lot of builders out there, a lot of talented people. The next person that we're going to be doing will be Mark Krause. We have many Mark Krause rods here. He's been very generous with his time and his energy to build these rods, and some of them, I mean, I'm sure I'll get teary-eyed talking about them because they were made in memory of my father, and be looking for more of this. We're going to go ahead and put this on YouTube, so make sure you go to the Batson YouTube channel to see this series and many other things that we're going to be doing throughout the new marketing plan that we have going on. So anyways, just want to thank everybody. None of this would be possible without all the people that support what we do for this industry. And have a nice day. Aloha.